Well, the fun part of building our model now starts. We dress the drawing up with plant symbols and populate this space with some greenery. I pay particular attention to trying to find low polygon little symbols from the 3D warehouse, or ones that I purchase or ones that we create ourselves. You want the plant to look realistic but to be made up of relatively few entities. So you arrange your view. Let's do this one, even though it's not complete. We've put some symbols in, and in order to produce an image that we can then incorporate back into gCADPlus, I like to export a file and move it into a rendering package. So I'll call this one Model 9B and overwrite a file that's going to be used by a rendering program called Kerkythea. Kerkythea is free software, so you could use Kerkythea in conjunction with the free version of SketchUp. Now what's happening, if you look down at the base here, is faces are being converted to meshes. This is going to take some time, so I'll let it run. We're at phase 1 of 5. So all of the information from the SketchUp model is now being written out, in fact in a text file, ready to be used by what's called a ray tracer or a renderer. So we say, yep, let's do that. And now we're moving into Kerkythea, and in a moment we'll see a wireframe view of the same view that we had in SketchUp. So here we are. I'll maximize it. So there's that wireframe view of exactly the same thing. We could use the tools in Kerkythea to zoom out a little or in a little, but I'm going to leave it as is and simply say start the render. I could change the resolution of the image file, let's say 2048, and I'll say OK. So rendering is now beginning to run. If you look at the top of the screen up here, it talks about making meshes. Now it's going to do ray tracing. So again, this will take quite a lot of time to run. Now's the time to go and grab a cup of coffee. If you are, there's a quick view down on the bottom right. If you want to look at the image as it's developing, let's do that, and we'll use the zoom out. You can see a fairly coarse image is showing at the moment, but as time goes by, as the renderer does its job, the quality of this image will improve. Well, rendering is now complete. A very nice image has been generated by Kerkythea. Let's just tile that for a moment, and you can see it, the rendered image is just sitting on top here. We can move around, and if I zoom in and we move further down and maybe across, I need to widen my screen here. I hope you can see that the resolution of that scan image is excellent. So these ray tracers do a wonderful job. There are other commercial ray tracers and renderers that you can buy and install and merge in with your SketchUp environment. You can see here a little error. I've got almost a floating plant there. I need to move that one down. But remember, the whole point of rendering is to show your client a quick, almost realistic view of the design and how it's going to turn out. Your users can understand the 3D rendering like this so much better than looking at plans. So I hope that completes the journey. We've gone from gCADPlus all the way into SketchUp, built the model, taken the model out as a description via a text file into a renderer and ray tracing piece of software to get an image such as this. We can then save that image. Here's the save button. Save that image and put it back into a layout space in gCADPlus.